Welcome and hello and good evening to everyone. I want to come on and talk just briefly on some things that I've been thinking about lately. And one of the things is the side effects of people. That's right, the side effects of people. You know how people can pretend and cheer you on, like, oh, I wish you luck, girl. I wish the best of you. That's my big C, you know, and the list goes on and on. But all the time, they sitting back and really hoping that you don't succeed, hoping that you fail all the time. And the unique thing about it, God always warn us, and God always show them up. God would not leave his people ignorant of Satan's devices. God will always tell you that that person is not for you. So, sometimes I just sit back and I just look and analyze some things and just see how far they're going to take it. You know, I'm going to tell you a story about a couple of years ago, well, almost a couple of years ago. My mother passed away 17, 18 months ago, going on 18 months ago. And I was in a space to where I was lost, didn't know what to do. And I made this drastic change in my life, just jumped up and just all of a sudden I say, I got to get away from, I really wanted to get away from Texas, but I said, I got to get away from my hometown. And I jumped up and I moved. And some people had been encouraging me to make this move way before all of that happened. And I said to myself, well, God ain't told me to make this move yet. I'm going to pray about it. And if God say to make this move, then I will definitely make the move. So when my mother passed, I just had to get away. I just couldn't stand to be in the same town, the same city. And it was just too many memories, and especially the environment was just too much for me. But anyway, I made this change, and I said, well, I'm here. I am here. And before I made the change, we was gonna do this and we was gonna do that, and yeah, we're praying for you. We are in your corner, da da this and da da that. But the side effects of people will change. People will tell you one thing, especially if they not for you. I'm just keeping it real tonight. Especially if they not for you. They will tell you anything. One thing, they feel like if they say whatever they want to say, they believe that you're not going to do it anyway. Because, like I said, it started way back when, thinking about making a move. And I said, whenever God, tell me to make the move, I will make the move. But when you're in a place, of grief, sometimes you make decisions, the wrong decisions, not the right decisions, because you're grieving. And when you're grieving, you don't really fully think things over. You just make a decision, get up and go, without really thinking about it, without praying and acknowledging God. So that's what happened to me. Now, I can't fully blame no one but me. But this is a stepping stone. This was a stepping stone of learning my mistakes and being aware of my mistakes, and never ever to do that again. So I learned from these mistakes. But people will say things, tell you this, and make it sound so good. But when you get there and this is it, and you see each other face to face, and you thinking, okay, I am here now, and this gonna be great because you have vision in your head that you're gonna be doing all these things, and nothing, when you get here, nothing comes to pass. So I was a little disappointed, and so I was in my grief, and I made that move in my grief. Didn't have a plan like I should have. And everything that I tried to do failed. One thing I realized, that since I done came to my senses, it took me a while, that we have to acknowledge God in all our ways, and He will direct our path. Another thing, don't just jump up because someone says something in lip service, in other words. Have a plan. That was another thing that I did when I was in my grief. I didn't have a plan. I jumped up and said, I just got to get out of here. But now that I have came to my senses and back to myself, I realized some things about people. People will not be in your corner like they said they would, especially if they're not a true friend. Even your family will see you suffering and turn their back or turn their heads and look the other way, and won't even offer help. So these things in my grief I learned as I was grieving for my mother's loss, that even your family, your blood kin, they won't even offer to help. And the most intriguing thing that I learned in this, that I know that they have a heart, but people are so cold-blooded. Cold-blooded, like they don't have a conscience, they don't have a heart. And in the midst of me going through my grief, and the ones who said they was for me, I often saw them smiling with a smirk on their face. You know how when you look off and you be talking and you catch somebody with a half grin, and the discernment of that smirk and that half grin was identifying to me, let me know that they was getting pleasure out of me suffering, pleasure out of the grief that I was going through. And I said, are you my brother's keeper? Are you my sister's keeper? See, action speaks louder than words. And I realized it was a lot of words going on, but no action. And if it was some action, it was the wrong action. And I analyzed some things, and I took a long trip in my car once I got to this place that I'm in now. And I said, Vicki, you can't depend on no one but God. And it's going to have to be God that take you out of these places. It's going to be God that lift you up again. It's going to be God that have to mend your broken heart. It's going to be God that put a smile on your face. It's going to take God to do everything. And I realized at that moment to stop depending on people, especially those who have no actions behind it, and just putting out lip service. But in the midst of my struggles and my grief, I had to exit some people. I had to X them out. Because when you're going through, in your struggles, in your grief, the side effects of people will show up more. And those side effects of people will tear you down, will bring your spirit down, and will try to destroy you if you don't wake up and know what is going on in your surroundings. Because the side effects of people, now I'm not saying everyone is like that, because I do have a couple of true friends that I can say friends. But when you going through the side effects of people, it can be devastating. It can be mind-blowing, because you never would have thought that they would do the things that they did. You never would have thought that they would say the things that they said. That's why I say actions speak louder than words. So, in the midst of my struggle, in the midst of my grief, I had looked like in so many ways that I was struggling. I looked like it in so many ways. But on the top surface, on the outer surface, you couldn't see it. But on the inside, on that inner surface, I was tore up. So I just want to come on here and warn somebody the side effects of people. And you got to be very, very careful. Very careful, because some of them are tricky. They've been doing this for a long time. And then when God began to raise you up, now check this out. When God began to raise you up in front of your enemy, and they catch the eye contact again. Oh, when did you get that? Oh, how long you been having this? Oh, well, God is in the blessing business. And know all about it. You can see now. Because when you was in the gutter, they was getting pleasure. When you was in your grief moment, they was laughing. But when God started to raise you up in front of your enemies, like Psalm 27 says, he will lift you up above your enemies all around about you. So when they see that, they begin to say, instead of, they be saying, oh, but they was like, that didn't work. I knew she was going to stay down. I know she was going to wallow in her grief. Oh, let me think about another master plan. But if I can't think of another master plan, I better go on and leave her alone for a little while. Then I'll come back. in another way. See, that's how the enemy does. If he can't get you one way, he'll try to get you another way, or he'll try to come in another way. So some of our side effects that we love. Now, I'm talking about we can love our family members, we can love our children, we can love our closest friend, we can love our cousins, we can love our aunts and our uncles, we can love our grandmothers and grandparents, we can love people that are not so close to us. And all of these people, especially those who say that they are with you and their hearts are far from it, it's just lip service. So you do have those who are out there praying for you and praying that they had the funds, or they had the time, or they had the space or the room to take you in, to spend time with you. Now, there are some people out there that have a pure heart, but that is very rare. That is very rare. But when God began to raise you up in front of your enemies, then they have to think about another plan. But just remember this. I always go back to Job. And Satan had to get permission from God before he put his hands on Job. He had to go to God and get permission. Always remember, whatever it looks like, don't worry about that, but keep your eyes on God. And when I was in my midst of my grief and my struggle, all I could say, oh God, thank you. Oh God, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. And another word that I had in the midst of my grief is, Lord, I trust you. Lord, I trust you no matter what comes my way. Lord, I trust you. And it was back to back. It was back to back. It was back to back. I couldn't even come up for air and breathe. It was always something. But remember, the side effects of people will try to get the best of you. But I'm going to tell y'all something. In the midst of everything that I went through, and if you haven't watched my videos, go back and watch them. Sometimes you have to be stripped of everything, including your mother. You have to be stripped. Everything taken away. Everything that was lost was stripped away from me. And sometimes you have to start all over. No, I can't get my mother back, but I know that she is in peace. And I know that she is looking down from heaven and still praying for me, and she's right here in my heart. But everything else, I can truly say, I done went through the trenches and the valleys, and God brought me out. And I have some exciting news, but I can't reveal it now. But I will come back on. I will come back on and share it with you guys. But just know the side effects of people. Be aware of Satan's devices. And it's more rapid now than ever before. It's more rapid now than ever before. And I'm going to have to tell the truth, especially those who are saints or really ain'ts, and those who are churchgoers are just churchgoers. It's in the church now more than ever before. And those who call themselves believers and saints, watch the saints, because they really ain't what they paying out to be. Okay? So I hope this encouraged someone to never, ever, ever give up. Keep your trust in the Lord. Stay focused on your goals, on your dreams. Acknowledge God in all of your ways, and He will direct your path. Even in the grief moments, have a good support team to help you. Because when you grieving, you can't think to do the right thing. I'm just going to be honest, because we all have grieved, and this is not the end of grieving. We're going to go through that process as long as we live. But have a good support team. And another thing, while you back to your senses, write down a plan. Just in case you have to grieve again, and you don't want to make the decisions that you made that wasn't healthy, give it to someone you can trust. Okay, if I go through this process, I'm struggling, I'm grieving, I'm going through this, here's a copy of the things that you need to know what to do in the time of grief, in the time of me struggling. This is it. Or here's my funds. I put them over here, I moved them over there. But here's all the information that you need to get to the funds in your grief moment, in your struggling moment. Get someone that you can trust, that you know that won't play you or mess over you or lie to you. So that is all that I have today, but I will come back with the good news. I'm excited, but I had to share this because it has been on my heart for quite some time about the side effects of people, the side effects of people. So just be aware and self-conscious about everything. You know, there was a time that I wasn't aware. I didn't have my radars up. I didn't have the knowledge that I have now, because I have went through the trenches. I have went through the valley. And I know that I will continue to go through some things while I'm still here on earth. But the more that I go through, I pray that God will teach me, and I have the wisdom and the discerning spirit on what to do and what to say. So, that being said, y'all be blessed and keep going with you everywhere you go, because you're going to need them. You're going to need them everywhere you go. Be blessed. Bye.